I could trade you for someone hotter tonight, my girlfriend said after I caught her cheating. I just smiled and said, let's find out. She called me insecure until she learned I was dating the high school model she secretly hated, and her jealous meltdown turned her entire circle against her. Hey, Reddit! My girlfriend cheated, swore I'd never find someone like her, and thought I'd just sit there and take it. So I dumped her, rebuilt my life, and moved on. But her and her little crew weren't done yet. Before we get to that, let me start from the beginning. So I was scrolling Reddit last week and saw this post about a guy whose girlfriend was openly cheating and acting like it was no big deal. Made me think about my ex and everything that went down about a year ago. This all started the fall before last, and I'm writing this a little over a year after I kicked her out. Met her on a serious dating app. I was 33, she was 30. Let's call her Nora. We'd text until 2 in the morning. After a few weeks, I asked her out. Here's the thing though, Nora was stupid hot. I'm a decent looking guy. Industrial designer, make good money, stay in shape. But she had options. First date went great, Italian place downtown, talked for 3 hours. She kissed me first. We started seeing each other regularly, official within a month. But that attention she got from other guys never stopped. She'd tell me about it, almost testing me. Then one night, about 4 months in, we're having one of those late night talks. She brings up hall passes, that hypothetical where you each pick a celebrity you'd be allowed to sleep with. I picked Jennifer Lawrence maybe. She said Ryan Gosling, but then she added something that stuck. I don't think there are many celebrities who would actually say no to me though. Dead serious, like she genuinely believed she could have anyone. I knew she was attractive, but hearing her say it felt off, arrogant. I laughed it off, but it sat in my head for days. That was the first real flag. Not confidence, entitlement. Like the rules didn't apply to her. About a month later, we're at dinner with some of her friends. Olivia, the divorced one with a bitter edge. Natasha, who lived for drama. And Maeve, who ran some lifestyle Instagram with like 30,000 followers. They were tight, and they treated me like I was lucky to be there. Olivia asked what I did. When I said industrial designer, she goes, that sounds stable. Code for boring. Natasha asked how we met. When I said dating app, she goes, wait, you swiped on her? That's bold. Like it was funny I thought I had a shot. Nora laughed along. Later when I brought it up in the car, she waved it off. It's not that deep. They're just teasing. I stayed quiet. These weren't just her friends. They'd decided I was beneath her. Things stayed smooth on the surface after that. But I started noticing small things. The way she'd angle her phone away. The way she'd backtrack when I asked about work. Little inconsistencies. Then the late nights started. Nora worked as an event coordinator for a hospitality company. Normally, she'd be home by 6 or 6:30. We'd make dinner together, watch TV, regular couple stuff. Then, one week in October, everything shifted. She started coming home later. First night, it was 7:30. Client issue. Made sense. Second night, 8. Catering problem. Third night, 8:15. Traffic. By the fourth night, I noticed the pattern. Her explanations were getting vaguer. Before, she'd tell me everything when work ran late. Now it was just surface-level excuses. Lost track of time. Got stuck talking to a vendor. And when I'd ask about it, she'd get defensive. Why are you asking so many questions? Do you not trust me? I'd back off. But the pattern kept repeating. I started documenting it. Notes on my phone. Dates, times, excuses. 3 weeks in, she came home at 9:15 on a Wednesday. Her slow day. I was on the couch when she walked in, smiling at her phone. Hey, good day? She looked up, startled. Oh, yeah. Long but good. What kept you? Just grabbed drinks with a coworker after work. Oh yeah? Who? Just Brad. You don't know him. Brad. The way she said it. Casual. Easy. But she'd never mentioned Brad before. Never stayed out until 9:15 for drinks. And the way she looked away when she said his name. The quick subject change. Cool. Sounds fun. Didn't push. Didn't ask follow-ups. She seemed relieved. Over the next 2 weeks, Brad came up 3 more times. Always vague, always late. Brad and I had to stay late to prep for this weekend's conference. Ran into Brad, we grabbed coffee. Each time I just nodded. Didn't react. Let her think I believed her. I kept documenting. Her phone always face down now. Different passcode, more makeup, less sex. One night in late November, we went to Olivia's apartment for dinner. Just the friend group and their partners. I was quiet most of the night. Nora went to the bathroom and Olivia leaned over to me with this knowing smile. You're so chill, Edward. I love that about you. Some guys would be so insecure with a girlfriend like Nora. I just nodded. Took a drink. Yeah. Natasha laughed from across the table. See, this is why it works. He knows his role. She said it like a joke, but it landed like a test. I didn't give her anything. Just smiled slightly and went back to my food. But I clocked it. The phrasing. He knows his role, like I was playing a part. And the way Nora didn't correct them, didn't defend me. She just smiled and changed the subject to some story about work. Maeve was on her phone most of dinner. At one point she goes, "Nora, you and Brad killed it on that conference last weekend. I saw the photos." My head snapped up. So did Nora's. "What photos?" Maeve looked confused. "The ones on the company page. You guys were tagged together." Nora laughed it off. "Oh yeah, those. Brad took a bunch of setup shots, probably just for the portfolio. You two looked really good together. He's a good work partner." The whole exchange took maybe 30 seconds, but it confirmed what I already knew. And her friends knew. The way Maeve brought it up. The way Olivia and Natasha exchanged a look. They all knew. That night when we got home, Nora was in a good mood. More affectionate than she'd been in weeks. Told me how much her friends liked me. How lucky she was to have me. I went to bed early. Told her I had a headache. Laid there thinking about everything. The late nights, Brad. The friend group's comments. All of it. And I realized I had two choices. Confront her now with nothing but suspicions and watch her gaslight me. Or wait. Document everything. Get real proof. Then make my move. I chose to wait. 2 weeks before Christmas, I was at work finishing up a design presentation when my phone buzzed. Instagram message from someone I didn't know. Profile picture was a woman I didn't recognize. Name was Ashley. The message just said, "We need to talk about Brad and your girlfriend." I stared at that message for a solid 2 minutes. My hands went cold. When I opened it, there were already more messages waiting. "I'm Brad's fiancé. I found messages between him and Nora on his laptop. A lot of them. I'm sending you everything because you deserve to know what's happening. I found you because Nora tagged you on her page last year." Then the screenshots started coming through, one after another. 20, 30, 40 of them. I had to put my phone down and walk to the bathroom. When I went back to my desk, I opened the messages again. Started scrolling through. The first few were flirty but relatively innocent. Brad complimenting Nora's outfit. Nora saying he looked good at the conference. Inside jokes about coworkers. Then they got worse. Brad. "I can't stop thinking about last night." Nora. "Me either. When can we do that again?" Brad. "My place tomorrow? Ashley's working late?" Nora. "Perfect. I'll tell Edward I have a client dinner." I felt sick. Had to close my eyes and breathe through it. But I kept scrolling. The messages went back 4 months. September. There were photos too. Nothing explicit but enough. Nora in his apartment. Nora and Brad at some restaurant I'd never heard of. Nora in a dress I recognized. The one she said she wore to a work function I couldn't attend. Then, I got to the message that made everything stop. Brad had texted her one night in early November. "Does your boyfriend know about us?" Nora's response came through 3 minutes later. "He's clueless. Honestly, he's just safe at this point. Like a roommate who pays half the bills. I need someone who actually excites me. You know?" Brad. "So why not just leave him then?" Nora. "Because he's stable. He's not going anywhere. And I'm not giving up security for fun. I can have both." I read it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. I wasn't her partner. I was her safety net. Her boring backup plan. A roommate who pays half the bills. He's not going anywhere. I can have both. Ashley sent more. A video of them kissing outside his building. The timestamp said it was from 3 nights ago. Location data from Brad's phone showing Nora at his apartment. Times and dates. Matched up perfectly with all the late nights I'd been documenting. Every single one. A voice memo that was clearly Nora talking to someone. I clicked play. I don't know. I feel bad sometimes, but Edward's sweet. He's just boring. We do the same thing every night. Same restaurants. Same conversations. Brad makes me feel alive. Like I'm 25 again. I'll deal with Edward eventually. Just not now. I'm not ready to give up what we have. Eventually. Like I was a problem she'd handle when it was convenient. Ashley's last message came through. "I'm leaving him tonight. Packing my stuff as we speak. Thought you should have the option to do the same. Sorry you're going through this. No one deserves this." I didn't respond right away. Just sat there at my desk. Saved all my work. Told my boss I needed to leave early for a personal emergency. Drove home in complete silence. Didn't turn on music. Didn't call anyone. I pulled into our parking garage and sat in my car for 20 minutes. Screenshotted everything Ashley sent. Backed it up everywhere. Then I went upstairs. Nora was in the shower. I could hear the water. Heard her singing. I sat on the couch and waited. She walked into the living room 10 minutes later in a towel, smiling. "Hey babe, how was work?" I looked at her. "We need to talk." Her face changed. She sat down. Kept distance between us. "About what?" I handed her my phone with the screenshots. She scrolled. Her hands shook. Face went pale. By the 10th screenshot, she wasn't even looking anymore. Edward, this isn't what it looks like. I waited. Okay, yes, Brad and I have been talking, but nothing physical happened. These messages are just, we were joking around. I stared at her. Okay, fine. We kissed a few times, but that's it. I was confused. I made a mistake. Still didn't respond. Edward, please say something. We're done. You're not staying here tonight. She froze. What? You need to leave. Pack what you can carry. You can't just kick me out. This is my place too. Lease is in my name. You're not on it. Has been since we moved in because your credit was bad. Remember? You can go to Olivia's. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. You're overreacting. Let me explain. No. If you refuse to leave, I'll call building security. Then the police if I have to. Your choice. This is emotional abuse. You're trying to punish me. I stood up and walked to the bedroom. Started pulling her clothes out of the closet, throwing them on the bed. She followed me, trying to talk, trying to explain. You're being controlling right now. I didn't respond. Just kept packing. Edward, please. I love you. I made a mistake, but we can fix this. I stopped. Turned to look at her. You called me a roommate who pays bills. You told him I was boring and safe and you'd deal with me eventually. That's not a mistake. That's who you are. I didn't mean it. Yes, you did. I handed her the bag. You can get the rest this weekend, with supervision. I'll schedule a time. Right now, you need to leave. She started crying. Where am I supposed to go? Call your friends. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands. Started typing in the group chat. Within 2 minutes, all 3 of them were responding. Natasha said she'd come pick her up. Olivia said Nora could stay with her. They're on their way. Good. Wait downstairs. Can I please just stay until they get here? It's cold outside. Lobby. Now. She grabbed the bag. Walked toward the door. Stopped. Turned around. You're really going to throw away our relationship over this? You already did that. I'm just cleaning up. The door buzzer rang. Her ride was here. She looked at me one more time, waiting for me to change my mind. I opened the door. Stepped aside. She walked out without another word. I closed the door. Locked it. Put the chain on. Then I called a locksmith. Had them come out first thing in the morning to change the locks. Sent a text to the building manager letting them know Nora no longer had access. My phone started blowing up around 10 that night. New number. Had to be Nora. Please, can we just talk about this? I know I messed up, but you're not perfect either. You're really going to destroy our relationship over one mistake? This is so typical. Men always overreact. I didn't respond. Just screenshotted everything. Added it to my evidence folder. Then blocked the number. 20 minutes later, different number. Same messages. Blocked again. By midnight, I had 5 different numbers blocked. Then Olivia texted from her number. Edward, I think you're making a huge mistake. Nora loves you. She's devastated. Can you please just talk to her? I replied with one of the screenshots Ashley sent, the one where Nora called me a roommate who pays bills. Olivia didn't respond. I blocked her too. Then Natasha. Then Maeve. Everyone. Deleted the whole group chat. Erased them from my contacts. The fallout started the next morning. I woke up to my phone buzzing with notifications. Maeve had posted a vague story at 3 in the morning. Just text on a black background. Some people would rather punish than forgive. Normalize grace and growth. Not my name. Not specific. But anyone who knew us would know. By 9 in the morning, it had like 200 views and 30 responses. I didn't engage, just watched it happen. Olivia started the actual narrative that afternoon. She texted a few of our mutual friends, people we'd hung out with as a couple, gave them her version of events. I know because one of them, Connor, a guy I'd known since college, called me around 2. Hey man, I heard about you and Nora. That's rough. Yeah. Olivia said things got pretty heated, that you kicked Nora out in the middle of the night without letting her explain. That's one way to describe it. She also said Nora was trying to work on things, and you just shut her out completely. Connor, did Olivia mention why I kicked her out? Silence on the other end. She said there was a misunderstanding about some texts with a coworker. A misunderstanding. Yeah. That's what she called 4 months of Nora sleeping with another guy while telling him I was boring and safe and she'd deal with me eventually? More silence. She actually said that? I've got screenshots if you want to see them. No man, I believe you. That's messed up. I'm sorry. Olivia made it sound like you were overreacting to nothing. That's the version they're selling. Just wanted you to know the real one. We hung up. I didn't send him the screenshots. Didn't need to. But not everyone called to hear my version. Some people just quietly started acting different. Colder. For the next couple weeks, it was the same cycle. Vague posts about healing and moving forward. Rumor texts from new numbers trying to bait me into responding. I'd block one, and another would pop up a day later. Same pattern every time. First apologetic. I know you're angry, but we can work through this. Then deflecting. I made a mistake, but you're not perfect either. Remember when you forgot my birthday dinner last year? Then manipulative. Your friends think you're overreacting too. Connor told Olivia you're being dramatic. That last one was a lie. Connor had literally called me to get the real story. Then the mask came off. Good luck finding someone who puts up with your boring routine. I could have anyone. You know that, right? I settled for you, and you're acting like I'm the one who should be grateful. I screenshotted everything, sent copies to my close friends as insurance, blocked each number without responding. By week 3, the direct messages stopped. The social media campaign ramped up instead. Maeve started posting therapy speak. Normalize women making mistakes without being punished forever. Some people need control more than they need connection. Olivia posted throwback photos with captions about loyalty. Real ones stick around even when things get hard. Natasha posted vague memes about toxic masculinity and fragile egos. I got a few unfollows. Few people stopped liking my posts. I didn't fight it, just went quiet on social media. Then they went after my job. I got a calendar invite one morning. Quick check-in with AHR department. No details, no context. I knew what it was before I walked in. The AHR rep was professional, calm. Did the whole, this is just protocol opener. Then she got to it. We received some concerns from an external party, allegations that you've been harassing an ex-partner, locking them out of shared property, threatening behavior, controlling conduct. We're required to document these kinds of reports. I didn't react, just sat there. Let her finish. Let her. Do you have anything you'd like to share about this situation? I have documentation. All of it. I pulled out my phone, opened my evidence folder, showed her 3 things. First, Ashley's initial message, the one where she told me about the affair and sent proof, time-stamped. Second, the screenshot of Nora calling me a roommate who pays half the bills and saying she could have both, her own words, in writing. Third, a sample of Nora's harassment, 5 different phone numbers, all blocked. All her trying to contact me after I'd made it clear we were done. Plus Olivia's text trying to guilt me into talking to Nora. The AHR rep's expression changed as she scrolled through. Thank you for providing context. This is helpful. I'll need to document this and get back to you with next steps. Understood. In the meantime, I'd advise you not to engage with this person further and to continue documenting if the contact continues. Already doing both. A few days later, I got an email. Report closed. No action needed on my end. I texted Connor. If anyone asks, I'm fine. If anyone pushes a story, I'm not debating it. They'd tried to poison my reputation at work. Failed. But something else was bothering me. The timing. How did they know about certain plans? I'd been careful. Hadn't posted anything. I decided to test it. I had drinks planned for Thursday night. Told 3 different people. 3 different locations. Connor got the quiet coffee spot across town. Roman got a new brewery called Ironside that just opened downtown. And Derek, this guy I'd met a few times through Nora at her work events, got a sports bar near the stadium. I only went to one. Connor's coffee spot. Quiet. Controlled. My phone buzzed around 8:30. Text from Roman. Bro, guess who just walked in here filming? There it was. Ironside. The location only Roman had, which meant Derek gave it to them. I finished my coffee with Connor, drove home, waited until 10. Then I texted Derek. 3 different plans. 3 different people. They went to the one location only you knew. Lose my number. I blocked him before he could respond. After that, the random encounters stopped. 2 months later, my 15-year high school reunion came up. I almost didn't go, but a couple friends convinced me it'd be good to get out. So I said, yeah, I'll go. Didn't know it at the time, but that decision changed everything. I showed up late on purpose, grabbed a drink from the bar, and posted up near the name tag table. 2 girls from our class were talking near me. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but they weren't being quiet. Is Melody coming? I don't know. She's so busy now. Did you see her last campaign? I know. She's literally a model. Like an actual model. Not Instagram model. Real magazine covers. I remembered Melody. Tall girl, always put together, naturally cool. We had classes together. We're friendly, but never close. Hadn't thought about her in years. I heard she's single. Please, Melody's probably dating an actor or something. They laughed and moved on. I stayed at the bar. Then conversations dropped for a second. I looked toward the entrance and there she was. Melody walked in and posture perfect, face neutral, but somehow warm. She scanned the room and for just a second, her eyes landed on me and something changed. Her breath caught. Her hand tightened on her phone. Her smile started too early. Then she blinked and reset. I noticed it, didn't react. She moved through the room greeting people, but I could feel her tracking me. Not obvious, just aware. 20 minutes later, she made her way over. She smiled and said, Edward, it's been forever. Melody? Yeah, long time. We talked, caught up on the basics, what we'd been doing, where we'd ended up. But she kept doing this thing where she'd remember really specific details about me from high school. You used to bring those homemade lunches, right? Your mom made the best sandwiches. You were in that design elective junior year. You built that lamp thing. Little things. Too specific to be casual. And every time she'd say my name, she'd say it soft. Then someone mentioned Nora, just in passing. Some story about prom. And Melody's whole face changed. Her jaw tightened. Her eyes went sharp. Then she smoothed it out and changed the subject. Later, I was outside getting air when I saw Nora's crew huddled near the photo booth inside. Through the window, I could see them watching Melody. Olivia was talking, animated. Natasha had her phone out. Maeve was nodding along. I stayed outside. Then the door opened. Natasha walked out, phone in hand, saw me. Edward, wow, didn't know you'd be here. Yeah. She glanced back inside where Melody was visible. So, Melody Torres. That's interesting. I didn't respond. She's still doing the whole crush thing, or did she finally move on? I looked at her. What? Natasha's smile got wider. Oh, come on, everyone knew. She used to stare at you in like every class. It was kind of sad, honestly. She said it mean, dismissive, but she'd just given me something she didn't mean to. Anyway, she held up her phone. Just grabbing some fresh air. You know how it is. She went back inside. I stood there processing. Melody had a crush on me in high school, not just casual interest, enough that people noticed. I looked through the window. Melody was still talking to the same group. Professional, composed. I went back inside, waited for a natural break in her conversation, walked over. Hey, want to grab coffee sometime? Catch up properly? She turned. That mask slipped again for half a second, then she smiled. Real. Yeah, I'd like that. Melody and I started messaging after the reunion. Normal stuff at first, catching up, but it shifted pretty quick into something more. She was in Milan working on a campaign, so we did FaceTime calls almost every night. During those calls, I learned more about her life, the travel, the photo shoots, the industry grind, but also the normal stuff. What she liked to eat, what movies she watched on long flights. She was real in a way Nora never was. No performance, no games, but it wasn't all easy. One night we had plans to FaceTime and she canceled last minute. Flight got delayed coming back from a shoot in Tokyo. She sounded exhausted when she finally called 3 hours later. Sorry, I hate this part. The constant moving. Never knowing what day it is. It's fine. You okay? Just tired. Sometimes I feel like I'm living out of a suitcase and everyone only sees the highlight reel. Another time she admitted something that surprised me. We were talking about dating and she got quiet. You know what's weird? People assume because of what I do that I'm confident about everything. But I'm not. I worry that guys only see the model thing, that they don't actually care about me. I don't see you that way. I know. That's why I like talking to you. After a few weeks, I asked her straight up, what are we doing here? She laughed. I don't know. What do you want to be doing? I want you to be my girlfriend. She didn't hesitate. Okay, yeah. I want that too. Long distance sucked. Not going to lie. But it was different with Melody. We made it work. I'd visit her when I could. She'd come back to the States between jobs. 3 months in, I flew to Brussels to see her. She was working on a campaign there and had a few days between shoots. She took me to the set one day. Let me watch her work. I took some photos during the shoot. Behind the scenes stuff. Melody laughing with the crew. Just moments. I posted a few to my Instagram close friends story without thinking about it. And that's when everything escalated. Nora was still on my close friends list. I'd forgotten to remove her. 2 hours after I posted, my phone started blowing up. Messages from a number I didn't recognize. Who is that? Are you serious right now? You're dating Melody? I didn't respond. Just blocked the number. Then I got a message from one of our mutual friends. Hey man, Nora's losing it. Thought you should know. I didn't care. Blocked them too. But then the real campaign started. Maeve created fake accounts and started commenting on Melody's posts. Nothing directly harassing. Just subtle digs. Must be nice to have everything handed to you, type stuff. Melody noticed. Showed me. I told her to ignore it. But one of those accounts slipped up. Posted something too direct about stealing other people's boyfriends and had to delete it within an hour. I screenshotted it before it disappeared. Olivia started reaching out to mutual friends with a new narrative. That I'd left Nora for Melody. That I'd been cheating. That I was the villain. Natasha tried to organize a coincidental run-in. Showed up at a restaurant she knew I'd be at with Melody. Tried to film us. I saw her, told the host, and they asked her to leave. Then Nora tried a different approach. She started sending gifts to my apartment. Flowers. Notes. Stuff about how we were meant to be together. How she'd made a mistake, but I was making a bigger one. I threw everything away. Didn't respond. Didn't engage. But the friend trio wasn't done. They found out Melody and Nora went to the same high school, and suddenly the narrative shifted. It became about old jealousy. Maeve posted a throwback photo from high school with a caption about fake friends and snakes, tagged people who would know it was about Melody. But I noticed she was getting quieter. Fewer posts, less engagement. Olivia started spreading rumors that Melody had always been obsessed with stealing attention. Natasha reached out to brands Melody worked with, sent concerned fan messages trying to create problems. Then, it actually started working. Melody got an email from a skincare brand she'd done a campaign with. Professional, polite. But the subtext was clear. Hi, Melody. We've received some messages from followers expressing concern about controversy surrounding you. Can you provide context so we can address this with our team? She showed me the email. I could see the anxiety building. This is what I was worried about. My whole career can shift based on perception. One rumor gets traction, and suddenly brands don't want to risk it. What are you going to say? She pulled up her response before sending it. Hi, brand contact. I'm dealing with a targeted harassment campaign from my boyfriend's ex and her friends, including fake accounts and false allegations. I've documented everything and involved the appropriate parties. If you'd like to review the evidence, I'm happy to provide it. Otherwise, I trust you'll handle unsubstantiated claims professionally. Best, Melody. She sent it without hesitation. I've dealt with worse. People try this in the industry all the time. You just have to call it what it is. The brand backed off immediately, but that night she called me and I could hear the exhaustion in her voice. I need you to handle this clean. I won't live under her shadow. Either she stops or we make her stop. But I'm not spending my career looking over my shoulder. I'll handle it. Good. That's when Ashley reached out again. Message on Instagram. Hey Edward, I heard through mutual friends that Nora is still causing problems. I have more messages between her and Brad if you need them. She's been texting him again, trying to reconnect. Thought you should know she's telling people you two had a mutual breakup, and she's the one who ended it. I showed Melody. She looked tired. Does it ever stop? It will. But I was starting to wonder if I needed to force that ending. 6 months after the reunion, Melody had a campaign launch event in the city. Big deal. Industry people. Press. She invited me as her +1. I almost said no because I knew Nora would find out, but I wasn't going to let her control my life. We showed up together. Halfway through the night, I saw them. Nora, Olivia, Natasha, Maeve, all 4 of them. They'd gotten in somehow. Weren't on the list, but they'd talked their way past someone. I told Melody. She tensed up but kept her face neutral. What do you want to do? Nothing. They're here for a reaction. We don't give them one. We stayed on the other side of the room. Talked to people. Ignored them completely. But I could feel Nora's eyes on us. Then Natasha made a move. Walked right up to Melody with her phone out. Started recording. So Melody, how does it feel to be a homewrecker? Melody didn't flinch. Just looked at her. You're going to want to leave. I'm just asking a question. Then Nora stepped up. Suddenly she was right there. In Melody's space. Too close. You always did this, Nora said. Voice shaking. Not from nerves. From rage. Even in high school. You'd just exist and everyone would fall over themselves. You never had to try. Never had to work for anything. Just show up and people would give you whatever you wanted. Melody's face stayed neutral, but I saw her jaw tighten. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. You made me feel invisible my entire life. And now you're doing it again. You took everything from me. I didn't take anything from you. You took him. Nora's voice cracked. You knew we were together. You knew. And you just swooped in like you always do. I stepped between them. Calm. Quiet. We weren't together. You cheated. I left. That happened before Melody and I even talked. Nora's eyes snapped to me. Because you were already thinking about her. You were just waiting for an excuse. You've got 5 seconds to walk away before I call security. You're being dramatic, Edward. There it was. Her phrase. The one she'd used to dismiss me a dozen times. But now she was the one spiraling. Natasha laughed nervously. Still filming. You're not going to do anything. I pulled out my phone. Called security. Didn't break eye contact. 2 guys in suits showed up in under a minute. I explained the situation. Showed them the harassment messages Melody had been getting from the fake accounts. The brand sabotage attempts. The pattern. They escorted all 4 of them out. Nora tried to shout something on the way out, but security shut it down fast. Natasha tried to film. They blocked her phone. The whole thing took 3 minutes. After they left, Melody let out a breath. That was intense. They're done now. How do you know? Because Natasha just filmed security removing them for harassment. That's not the look they want. Maeve's brand is positivity. Olivia's whole thing is being the victim. This doesn't fit their narrative. They'll turn on each other before the week's out. I was right. 3 days later, I got a message from Ashley. Thought you'd want to see this. Natasha sent these to Brad, trying to get him to talk sense into Nora. He showed me because he's finally done with all of them. Figured you could use the ammunition. Attached were screenshots of their group chat, messages where they planned the event crash, where they coordinated the fake accounts, where Maeve admitted she was scared it would hurt her image, where Olivia called me controlling, where Nora said Melody stole her life and always gets everything. I read through them twice. Then I did exactly two things. First, I sent the screenshots to my building manager with a note. These are the people who've been harassing my girlfriend and attempting to gain unauthorized access to the building. Please flag them as no entry. Thanks. Second, I sent them to Connor with one line. In case Olivia tries the victim narrative again. That was it. No public post. No social media war. The friend trio broke within 48 hours. Natasha panicked first, deleted her posts, blamed Nora for dragging her into it. Maeve scrubbed her Instagram of anything related, posted some generic choosing piece caption, and distanced herself publicly. Olivia doubled down alone, but nobody was listening anymore. Nora tried one more time. Showed up at my apartment building 2 weeks later. Buzzed up. She was flagged, so the doorman called me instead of letting her up. I went down. Didn't let her in. Just stood in the lobby. Edward, please, can we just talk? No. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. You don't get to ask me for anything. You lost that about a year ago. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. Multiple choices. For months. While calling me boring and safe to the guy you were sleeping with. That's not a mistake. That's who you are. That's not fair. You're right. It's not fair. To me. But I'm done caring about what's fair to you. You need to leave. You're really going to choose her over me? I'm not choosing anyone over you. I'm choosing me over you. There's a difference. She started crying. But I just felt relief. Then her face changed. The tears stopped. Something harder came through. We could have been great. You know that, right? If you'd just been more exciting. More ambitious. If you'd given me a reason to stay interested. This is partially on you. There it was. Still blaming me. You're being dramatic, Nora. Her face went white. Hearing her own words thrown back at her. The dismissive phrase she'd used on me 100 times. Don't contact me again. Don't show up here. Don't send your friends. You're done having access to my life. I walked back inside. Didn't look back. She stood there for a minute, then left. Melody and I are still together. Long distance is hard. Industry pressure is real. But it's real in a way that matters. She doesn't play games. Doesn't need me to be small so she can feel big. When she's stressed about a shoot, she tells me. When I have a rough deadline, she understands. Nora was right about one thing. I'll never find someone like her again. And I'm grateful for that every day. People ask if I regret how I handled it. If I should have fought harder or forgiven her. My answer's always the same. You can't fight for someone who's already decided you're not worth keeping. And you can't forgive someone who's not actually sorry. They're just sorry they got caught. No regrets. Just lessons learned and a life that's better without her in it. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.